Welcome back, Cowboys Nation. Buckle up, because today we are diving into one of the wildest and most rumor-packed stretches of the offseason we've seen in a long time. The Dallas Cowboys are at the center of multiple swirling narratives, and whether you're excited, anxious, or downright furious, there's no denying that things are heating up in a major way. From potential blockbuster trades to shocking signings that could reshape the team's identity heading into the 2025 NFL season, the Dallas Cowboys front office has fans, media, and analysts alike glued to every development. We've got whispers about Stephon Gilmore returning to Dallas, a potential trade involving defensive lineman Mazi Smith, and perhaps the most jaw-dropping of them all, speculation about whether the Cowboys would actually consider trading their generational superstar, Micah Parsons. Yeah, you heard that right. Let's kick things off with the Stephon Gilmore buzz. It wasn't too long ago that Gilmore suited up for the Cowboys and made an immediate impact on the field. The former Defensive Player of the Year brought a level of experience, intelligence, and leadership to the secondary that Cowboys fans deeply appreciated. Even at 33, Gilmore proved that he could still lock down receivers and make quarterbacks think twice before targeting his side of the field. But with the Cowboys going younger in the secondary, and names like Trevon and Darren Bland grabbing headlines, many assumed Gilmore's days in Dallas were done. However, that narrative might be shifting again. Recent reports have surfaced suggesting the Cowboys and Gilmore have been in low-key contact. No official confirmation yet, but sources say that Jerry Jones and Mike Zimmer have had internal discussions about the value of bringing a veteran presence back into the mix. This possible signing takes on even more weight when you consider the Cowboys' current situation at cornerback. Trevon is still recovering from the ACL injury that ended his 2024 season prematurely. While all signs point to a return by Week 1, ACL injuries are notoriously tricky, and there's always the risk of a slow ramp-up or lingering issues. Behind Diggs, Darren Bland has proven himself as a rising star, but after that, the depth begins to look questionable. Nahshon Wright and Eric Scott Jr. are promising, but not necessarily ready for prime-time starting roles. Bringing back Gilmore, even if it's just for one more season, could give Zimmer the flexibility and stability he craves in a position group that thrives on consistency and communication. Not to mention, having Gilmore back in the locker room could be invaluable for mentoring younger corners and maintaining a winning culture in the secondary. But Gilmore's return isn't the only thing lighting up Cowboys rumor mills. Let's shift our focus to Mazi Smith, the Cowboys' 2023 first-round pick and a defensive tackle that was supposed to be a cornerstone of Dan Quinn's front. When Smith was drafted, the vision was clear: plug up the middle, anchor the run defense, and occasionally collapse the pocket. But 2 seasons in, the results have been mixed at best. Smith showed flashes of his potential, particularly in early down run situations, but he struggled to find consistency. Conditioning has been a question. Scheme fit has been a question. And now, with Mike Zimmer implementing his own vision for the defensive front, it appears that Mazi Smith might not be part of the long-term plan. According to multiple insiders, the Cowboys have quietly fielded calls about Mazi Smith over the past few weeks. Nothing concrete has emerged yet, but it's clear that his name is on the table. And you have to ask yourself, if Zimmer doesn't see a clear path forward for Smith in this defense, is it better to trade him now while he still has value as a former first-rounder? Teams like the New York Giants, Chicago Bears, and Arizona Cardinals are reportedly keeping tabs, all in need of interior defensive help. A trade could bring back a mid-round draft pick or even a depth piece at another position. It wouldn't be a blockbuster, but it would be a signal that this Cowboys regime is no longer willing to wait on development when the window to win is open right now. And that brings us to the elephant in the room: the Micah Parsons trade rumors. Yes, it sounds unthinkable. Yes, it sounds insane. But this is the NFL, and we've seen crazier things happen. The speculation began after reports surfaced that contract negotiations between Parsons and the Cowboys had hit a serious snag. While both sides have publicly said all the right things, expressing mutual respect and a desire to get a deal done behind the scenes, it's apparently a different story. Sources close to the situation say that Parsons feels underappreciated by the front office and is growing increasingly frustrated with the pace and tone of negotiations. Remember, this is a guy who's been an All-Pro in every season since entering the league. He's led the defense, put up historic sack numbers, and become the heart and soul of the locker room. And yet, he's watching other players around the league get paid while the Cowboys continue to drag their feet. Now, let's be clear, there is no indication that a trade is imminent. But in the modern NFL, star players forcing their way out has become increasingly common. If things continue to sour, and if Parsons begins to feel like his future isn't being prioritized, the unthinkable could become a possibility. Imagine the haul the Cowboys could command in return for Parsons. Multiple first-round picks? A superstar player in return? It would be franchise-altering. But would it make the team better in the short term? Absolutely not. Trading Parsons would be waving the white flag on contending in 2025 and beyond. And Jerry Jones, for all his faults, is not someone who wants to rebuild. He wants to win now. Which is why, despite the rumors, trading Parsons still feels more like a last resort scenario than a real possibility. Still, the fact that it's even being discussed tells you everything you need to know about how tense the situation has become behind the scenes. So what does all this mean for the Cowboys as training camp rolls on? It means this team is standing at a crossroads. Bringing back Stephon Gilmore could stabilize a shaky secondary. Trading Mazi Smith might be a sign that Zimmer is reshaping the defense in his image. And resolving the Micah Parsons contract situation, whether that means extending him, trading him, or playing the waiting game, will define the franchise for years to come. Fans are watching every move with a magnifying glass. The media is dissecting every whisper and sideline glance. And players? They're feeling the pressure too. In many ways, this offseason has become a microcosm of the larger Cowboys story. Big names. Bigger expectations. And always, just beneath the surface, a sense that chaos could erupt at any moment. The 2025 season hasn't even started yet, but the decisions being made right now could make or break it. Will Jerry Jones pull the trigger on a big veteran signing to shore up the defense? Will Mike Zimmer push to cut bait with players who don't fit his vision? And will the front office finally do right by its most electric talent, or risk alienating him forever? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, there's never a dull moment. This franchise is always in the spotlight, always one step away from greatness or collapse. And for better or worse, Cowboys Nation is along for the ride. So keep your notifications on, stay locked in, and prepare for more breaking updates as this drama continues to unfold. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this breakdown and want to stay ahead of every twist in the Cowboys' wild offseason, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update. This is the kind of chaos we live for, and we'll be right here bringing you the truth behind every rumor. See you in the next one.